Hey friends, all right, now we're going to get down to the really interesting thing, Locrian. All right, just as a short review, last time we talked about how starting at the tonal center of C, if you're in the key of C major, you're in the Ionian mode. No big mystery there. The relative minor is A minor. And that's usually about as far as people go on talking about the circle of fifths. Is the major key, the relative minor, sharps and flats, the order of sharps and flats, just basic functions like that. However, we're going to dig a little deeper. You have that one flat, go down to F major. So you're using the key of F major, but the tonal center is C. So you're flattening the seventh. That gives you Mixolydian. And it works the same way if you go this way. So let's say you're in G major and you transpose down to C major, but you keep the tonal center at G. You are now in G Mixolydian because that's the reverse relationship of it all. Is whenever you take away a sharp, that has the same effect as flattening the seventh. And it's the same way with this. So hypothetically, if we went down here to B flat major and went up to F major, what that's going to be like is sharpening your seventh scale degree if you keep your tonal center at B flat. But I'll get to that a little bit more in detail in a future video. That one does deserve its own video. Today we're going to talk about Locrian, the big mystery of it all. Alright, so here's the deal. Everybody always associates it with a minor tonality. However, you would be surprised at how much in common it has with your major tonalities. Let's think about it here. Locrian is built on the leading tone of major. So right there immediately has a direct correlation with the major tonality, the Ionian mode. Or some other common characteristics of Locrian. The most dominant features of Locrian, that would be right here your flatted seventh. In fact, we'll go ahead and just build it from scratch that way. So let's just start with B Locrian. It's the leading tone of C major. All right, so the leading tone is a flatted seventh. That would be an A natural. And guess what? It's got a direct relationship with Phrygian because of that flatted second. Lydian. Let's go ahead and take a look at Lydian real quick. The most common thing that Lydian has with Locrian, and it gets overlooked, and that is the tritone. All right, and now instead of having a minor, well, let's go ahead and skip that because that's what we're going to talk about here is how to build a scale that you can use to solo in Locrian. So right here, the sixth scale degree, it is optional, but let's look at it here. So you got B, you got C. One of the most, the thing that Locrian has in common with Lydian is that tritone. So let's go ahead and focus on that tritone. Let's forget about let's forget about E. From here, we can have a pentatonic scale. B, C, D, F, A. And you have the perfect scale they can use as a soloing device. You don't ever have to really think about that lack of a perfect fifth. Not for this purpose, at least. And if you want to have the hexatonic scale, you can add in the G, but that's optional. But let's just go ahead and let this seep in. Locrian built on the leading tone of the major scale. Got a flatted seventh. So that gives it a direct correlation with Mixolydian. You got the flatted second. That gives it a direct correlation with Phrygian. You've got the direct correlation with Ionian because it's the leading tone of the Ionian Mode. It's got a direct correlation with Lydian because of the sharped fourth. And based on that, focusing on what it has the most in common with everything else, you can start to chip away at some of the things that make it a more difficult mode to work with. So, you never saw that coming, did you? Yeah, it's a nice relationship with all your major tonalities. And it's always associated with being a minor tonality or its own weird thing. So, we will see you next time as we talk a little bit more about how this circle of fifths actually works, as I alluded to it earlier, and we'll start to work on this Locrian mystery a little bit more. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.